Welcome to APR Supply's Tech Tips for the Pros. Today we're going to discuss how to set airflow for this gas furnace with air conditioning combination. To do this properly, you're going to need a dual port manometer with static pressure tips, as well as the manufacturer's information to reference for airflow. Now we're preparing the unit for the static pressure test. The first thing we have to do is get our static pressure probes in place. To get the top static pressure probe, remember this is total external static pressure, which means external to the furnace. So we have to get a static pressure probe in a position that's below the air conditioning coil. This can be very difficult at times. What we recommend is putting our static pressure probe directly into the delta plate in the front of the coil. The low pressure static port has to go between the filter and the blower. So we've chosen the spot here in the filter box between the filter and the blower. And then finally, we have to move into the board and see which speed is set to the cooling. In this case, with the furnace with the PSC motor, it's done by wires going directly onto the board, and we've chosen to use the blue wire, which is medium-low, as our start point for testing. We're now set up to do our static pressure test. Static pressure is going to be used to verify the airflow for this system. First, we have to determine what the correct airflow is supposed to be. Our 2-ton system will require an industry standard of 800 CFM per ton. Heil uses 350 CFM per ton, which gives us slightly better dehumidification. So we have our static pressure tips in and the coil box closed. We have our static pressure at the return, and we're set to the blue speed of this blower. So we'll now turn on the system and compare our static pressure to the chart to determine airflow. Now we're going to measure the actual external static pressure. So remember, everything that is external to this furnace box, we want to find out what resistance that is putting onto our fan. So Matt, go ahead and put the high side static pressure tip on, and let's see what our high side static pressure is. And now let's remove that just so we can see each one individually. Let's get the low side static pressure separately. You may have to zero that meter again, it's very sensitive. And now we have the low side static. Now let's just go ahead and add the high side back, and the meter will calculate the total external static for us. And what do we get for total external static pressure? At this point, what we're going to do is compare that to the manufacturer's chart for this furnace. Remembering that we have the blower set to the blue speed, and following over, we'll use the 0.7 static pressure chart. That will give us the airflow setting for this system as it is installed. In our example, airflow is what is required for this system. If your airflow in your system is not correct, you will have to adjust the blower speed to achieve proper CFM. Thank you for watching APR's Tech Tips for the Pros. Hope to see you again soon.